Chapter 64, Last Days in the Royal Capital. Now that I can rest in peace with regards to the children's health, I decided that it was time for us to return. When I told Ramirez that we were leaving and turned to do so, wait, hey, wait, she grabbed and pulled me by the collar. Being strangled feels pretty nasty. Even if I don't need to breathe, it is not a pleasant feeling. What, picking a fight? I'm not. I helped you, so shouldn't you show your gratitude somehow? Of course, your appreciation is thanks enough, but as a fellow person, my bad, I'm not a person after all, so I'm off. I quickly retorted, wow, wait. Hey, we're in trouble because you destroyed the golem. We lost our guardian. Look at us. We're all kids here. Really weak. Therefore, we're in trouble. Can't you do something about that? That. What a pain. I could simply say, you reap what you saw, but it is true that I was the one to break it. Why did I have to vaporize it without a trace? Well, I guess it is true that I went too far there. Even though demonic steel is excellent against demonic abilities, it, as every other metal, has a melting point. So it's not a surprise that it melted. In the first place, I did think that with Great Sage Sensei, I would be fine regardless, and that's how it turned out. I really should have dropped the output a bit. Now then, in place of the golem, I could compensate them with demonic steel, but I feel that would be a waste. Just imagining how much I would need to give to make a golem that size makes me dizzy. Should I make a human-sized doll and have the spirits possess it? Solution: verified command. Create golem creation possible. Abilities can be added through a spirit or a demon. The outward appearance will be according to your imagination. Please decide on a summoning target when creating the golem. Way to go, Great Sage. Seems like it pulled the appropriate spell from thousands of magic archives in an instant. A relatively simple summoning magic I first saw during the adventurer exam and have been analyzing it ever since. So all I need to decide is whether to use a demon or a spirit. Spirit is, the previous cases have shown, tend to without a personality. So a demon, frankly, though their name makes them sound like a backstabbing bunch, they aren't like that at all. Thanks to the summoning contract, they cannot betray the summoner, well, as long as it is reasonable. Any request beyond the original contract annuls it. Such an act testifies that the pastries involved are not satisfied with each other. But I guess it's wrong to label demons as evil just because they are demons. So let's make a golem using demonic steel and summon as a demon. Frankly, I should be able to make an item far stronger than any A-ranked monster around. I got it. You're noisy, Ramirez-chan. Listen up, I'll make you a guardian, so no more complaints. A compensation. Teach me a bit about the ghost researchers later on. Grandpa Kaijin in my city is deeply curious about them. He was working on the ghost researcher golem before. That's no problem. I'll tell you about them anytime. What kind of golem will you make? A stronger one than the one I defeated? Seriously? You are so nice. I guess so. Oh, I'll make it, but you can't use it for evil deeds or anything. I'll place a master lock on it so that it's only usable for your defense. Okay, no problem. But we can play around with it in here, right? As long as it's in here, but don't go causing trouble, okay? By the way, according to my Great Sage predictions, it will turn out really powerful. If handled poorly, there will be victims, okay? I said and began preparations. I took out demon steel from my stomach and stacked them up. Having swum around in my magical energy for a long time, the steel is of excellent quality. The children interested crowded around to watch. Where did you pull that from? I don't even know anymore. Ramira started to say something but gave up halfway. By the looks of it, she gave up not just on the conversation. When I was pleased with the items I took out, I got to work. Spreading my arms, I began to chant a spell. Considering that there is an altar up ahead, this may prove dangerous, so I had the kids step back. So only Ramirez is standing behind me. Now then, I hope it succeeds, but I'll be happy as long as it doesn't rampage. I've used up quite a lot of power to alter the spirits. In an answer to my chant, a magic circle began to form on the floor. Oh, and I don't really need the chant. I just felt it matched the atmosphere. From within the magic circle, a greater demon appeared, kneeling before me, facing the ground. Have you called me, my great master? It said. A great demon. I don't know if there are individual differences between them, but it's far more muscular than the lesser demon. Its skin is black, garbed in expensive clothing, unknown gender. From both sides of its head, horns protrude. By the way, do demons even have muscles? Whatever. I have called none other than you. I want you to possess this golem I will make. Payment is my magical energy. The length of the contract is. I look at Ramirez for an answer. 100 years. In 100 years, I will finally grow up. Is what she said. Length of the contract is 100 years. Afterwards, you can keep my body or throw it away. How about it? Had I said something like defeat the one before you, the contract would have been annulled. Anyways, what a troublesome thing the length of the contract is. When nearby, I'll have to refill his magical energy supply and make sure he doesn't try to reincarnate. But as long as I watch over this being, I cannot summon another. Well, there is a way around that rule, but for now I need him to protect the fairies here. So let's explain to him his duties. That much is simple, my great master, and I have already received the payment. The energy I used in summoning is enough. Well, he did take quite a bit already, but I have plenty to go around. In any case, it seems like slowly summoning him was a good idea. As a result, he shows due respect. Had I offered little energy in the process, it might have tried to kill me, but That kind of thing can be fixed with a proper contract. Just to be safe, let's make sure we properly summon things and make proper contracts. Well, the contract portion aside, all that's left is the golem. I start working in the demonic steel. A doll necessarily uses spherical joints. That much cannot be avoided, but surprisingly, it's coming out just as I had imagined it. In my previous life, I was jealous of my friends who could make figurines from scratch. Unfortunately, the clumsy I could do was put together a model. However, I have changed. Thanks to great sage's correction, it's coming out just as I had imagined. What you doing? Ramirez peeked over my shoulder and started making noise. Wow, what? This is amazing. What skill? You are seriously amazing, you know. Can you really make such a thing move? She was very excited. But even I, the creator, hadn't believed I could make it with such precision. Chances are the fact that I am using pure demonic steel allowed me to shape it as I wanted. The greater demon, looking from afar, upon realizing that it is his body in the making, showed a face of pleasant surprise. Probably I can't read demons' expressions well. Wonderful, as expected of my master. Honestly, in order to move the golem, all that is needed is to direct magical energy into the joints. Should that be done, the golem will move. What a wonderful body has been made for me. Since he's happy, I guess the body fits. After taking the demons and Ramirez's requests into consideration, I finished the golem. I made the face look like the mask I always wear. The golem was as large as a human, 180 centimeter tall to be precise. For the large greater demon, it must have seemed tiny, but I guess that wasn't the problem. Thus, I successfully finished the golem. The greater demon was able to possess it without any problem. By the way, the melting point for most rare resources is around 5,000 degrees. Demonic steel can withstand temperatures up to 9,900 degrees. Furthermore, it can regenerate in a word. It's superb. So honestly, destroying this golem will prove really difficult. How do you feel? Yes, wonderful. My overall strength has risen. Compared to incarnating into a monster or human, the raw power aside, defensive abilities are far superior. How wonderful. This is an amazing body. He reported, after verifying the body's abilities. In order to stay in this world, a demon needs a body. Animals and monsters are often used to that end. Instead, I gave him a magically created doll, but that doesn't seem to have caused any problem. Perhaps he recognized it as a monster. After thoroughly investigating the body, he faced me on his knees, and I hope to prove my usefulness to you with this body. After I have protected the fairies for 100 years, please allow me to serve under you. He suddenly said, 100 years from now, will I be alive then or not? I myself don't know. Will I even be alive then? Ha ha ha. What a joke. What could a mere 100 years do to someone of your caliber, my master? If you only promise me this, I will never bother you with another payment. That being said, just how long is my lifespan? I haven't thought much about that. Whatever. However, he seems very attached. Am I, predisposed to be loved by monsters or something? Now then, a name. I don't have much energy remaining. Judging by previous cases, a high-ranking monster will absorb a lot of energy. And this is a great demon, and the high-ranking one among them. If anything, he's at least rank A minus. But with the body, he's definitely at least A rank. So considering all the demonic steel I used to create the body, he's way over rank A. Should be fine, right? I still have over 40% left after all. All right, in that case, you shall be known as Beretta from now on. I accept your loyalty. Your first job will be to guard Ramirez and the Fairies for 100 years. I expect your best effort. I bestowed upon him such a name. His beautiful form reminded me of the famous weapon, and then my energy was sucked out, but this time I had endured it, barely above empty. This guy managed to absorb 30% of my energy by himself. That's a lot, and after being named by me, he started to evolve. Seems like the time until the evolution starts has also gotten shorter. He first formed into a circle, but then chest, head, hips, arms, and legs formed along with a face, looking just like a human, a genderless human. His expression was now hidden behind a mask, and instead of the black skin, long black hair now adorned his body. The skin was pale and bloodless, as to be expected from a doll. As the transformation began to stop, clothing appeared. The eye slits on the mask glowed crimson. Seems like the evolution has ended. Now I wonder what abilities it had inherited from me. Its appearance has become very human-like. Seems like the body was perfected along with the evolution. And what a beautiful body it had become. But the expression that was hidden with the mask was not of a sympathetic being, but a doll of destruction. Only death would await those who have seen his expression, to all other than the master, of course. Beretta stood up and once again bowed deeply before me. My great master, I am the Archdal Beretta, who lives and breathes to fulfill your will. And after bowing again, he turned to Ramirez. As commanded by my master, I shall protect thee, he declared. Ramirez, as if overwhelmed by his presence, nodded timidly. Yeah, I'll be in your care. Do protect us. After regaining her composure, she said so. So yeah, I guess that's a good enough substitute for the golem. At least twice as strong. This much should satisfy Ramirez's request. But it seems I have gotten carried away and used more demonic steel than I had intended. When making it, I kept debating about this and that, and ended up overusing the ingredients. So remember, I went through the trouble to make you, so you better be useful. The children have fallen asleep while I was making the doll. Their lives that were filled with tension and fear till now have suddenly become relaxed. They held well up until now and can finally relax. So they are sleeping happily, using Ranga as a pillow. And if I think about it, though I don't need sleep, the children certainly do. As they say, you sleep well, you grow well. So let's wait until the children wake up. Until they do, I'll also rest up. Thus, after creating a guardian for the fairies, we left the spiritual dwelling behind. The children have obtained the spirit. Their bodies have stabilized. All problems solved. Or so I thought. As per Yuki's request, 3 months have passed. I have many times discussed the children's future with him. We have considered having Tempest take custody of them, but figured they need a better learning environment. Besides, they are currently in a school with many excellent lecturers. It's also a place where they can study magic. Moreover, they themselves have chosen to study here. They had thought that I'd be staying with them, so they cried when I told them about my departure. I'll come visit you for graduation. I promised them. Of course, we'll throw a party. Though living next to the church may restrict their freedom as they are now, they'll easily deceive the church. The magical power no longer leaks and has stabilized around normal levels, nor will people with analyzing abilities be able to discover them. I had asked Yuki about that once. At least 3 years from now, when they think the children is dead and buried, they should be safe. If they stay patient for 3 years, they'll be able to depart on their own. For now, as long as they cover their faces with a mask, there shouldn't be any problems. Yuki has many times asked me how I had saved them, but I decided not to tell him. To him, the children seem as nothing more than normal civilians, and that's as it should be. Their power is currently being balanced by spiritual energy. When that balances out, they might acquire their own unique skill. Unless other problems appear, they probably don't need to know about that. Besides, they might not even acquire one, so I didn't tell the kids about this. Ending the matter with the children, thus I spent the rest of the time having fun, having a picnic, for example, or hanging around with the three idiots. My sales are also going well, and when I had time, I visited Miles in the middle of the second month here. He warmly welcomed me. Thanks to my evolved ability, spatial travel, I can immediately transfer to a place I had visited before. It is far faster than Shadow Step. And using the gold I received from him, I bought some magic stones from Yuki. Thus, our research will see some real progress soon. So doing this and that, the 3 months in the royal capital passed. On the day I set off from home, I left the crying children and the royal capital behind. It felt short, but I lived quite a while in the human city. Though the incident with the children was troublesome, I was able to bond with them as a result. I had never thought that I, who had become a slime, could befriend children like them, and I made a fortune with the sales. I had once returned to the city to see lots of adventurers crowding our streets, so everything is going well. No, everything is going too well. In this world, jealousy and envy, the feelings of a loser, creep into one's heart when you least expect it. I had planned. I had planned to live without ever feeling such emotions. However, if you make a mistake in the data, you will inevitably come to a wrong conclusion. As great sage says, if the question is wrong, the answer will also be wrong. If Tempest is prospering, there are people who can make money off of it failing. I had thought that I understood that fact, but hardly did I know how much I underestimated them. And the result, I have been searching for you, Rimuru-san. When I had left the royal capital, a voice called out to me. One of the people working for Yomo, the devil Grucius. He was struggling to catch his breath, having run all the way here nonstop. By the looks of it, something has happened. What's wrong? To my question, the Farmer's Kingdom has sent troops towards Tempest. The worst-case scenario unfolded before me. Happy events are often accompanied by terrible ones. Is that it? Even so, this is the worst possible scenario. I had immediately decided to return to Tempest. Will you come with me? When I asked, as if something had happened to Yomo's group, Grucius gladly took me up on the offer. I began rapid transfer. Thus, together with Grucius, we tried transferring to Tempest. Since being born into this world as a slime, I have lived as I had always wanted. I have met and spoken with some world travelers. While I was busy fulfilling trivial desire, a great storm loomed over my city. So even though I succeeded, I had also failed. As a civilian that I was, I hardly had any practice on predicting the political machinations of countries, hence the result. The gears of fate spun nefariously, leading me closer to my fate. The era of peace has now passed, and the time of war has begun.